While I was defending Shannon Sharpe in my comment section, one of his very first accusers just dropped a brand new interview. Sharpe really thought he could just chill in the cut, go back to talking to washed up celebs like nothing ever happened. Nah, they came back and smacked him with another one, bro. So boom, an interview just dropped yesterday straight exposing Shannon Sharpe. And the accuser? Michelle Evans. Yeah, that chick. The one who threw accusations back at Shannon Sharpe in 2010. At this point, there's gotta be some validity to the story, because she ain't letting this go. But I ain't gonna lie, she came out the gate keeping it a buck, and that's what won the crowd over immediately. She owned up to all her parts while pointing the finger at Shannon too. She admits she was still married when she cheated on her husband with Shannon Sharpe. So yeah, messy don't even cover it.
It was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand. We met in actually the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me, and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, I was a reporter, and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming.
It's hard not to judge her character, but to be real, bad people get violated too. Just because she's messy don't mean it didn't happen. But when she said, he pursued me hard, but I held back because I'm a reporter, I was like, yo, that's what stopped you? Like, you just being a reporter, not the marriage, not the wedding vows, not the preacher, not saying the vows in front of God, nothing? Okay, bet. I'll just let it go. It was the job title. Because to be honest, that just tells me her morals are all out of whack. But that doesn't mean she's lying. So we got to keep listening.
And we dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
What led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you?
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person.
The jury's got to decide if Shannon forced anything, but was he being manipulative and tender? Absolutely. Shannon never planned to wife her. She left her husband and thought she was going to be Mrs. Sharpe? Delusional. He knew she was a bop, but he still acted possessive. Like I said, manipulative. That whole fake you're mine, and if you get out of line, I'm tripping and something bad's going to happen to you. That's called control, not love. And this ain't the first time. Another chick called him controlling too.
This doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no And I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people in my comment section were saying this is starting to look like a Diddy situation. And I was defending it, like, no, it can't be. But with 1, 2, 3, and maybe a possible 4th accuser, I don't know. The only difference between Shannon Sharpe's case and Diddy's case is that his is civil and Diddy's is with the Department of Justice. Now, if they happen to step in against Shannon Sharpe, it's over. Now, also in my comment section, a lot of people who saw her started roasting her immediately. And I thought that was kind of bad taste and out of character because, I don't know, she could have been a baddie 30 years ago. But now she's looking a little washed. But to be honest, I'm still not getting any liar vibes from her. Now, let's not forget, she's also a convicted felon who went to prison for trying to unalive her husband. Now, she says she did it for Shannon Sharpe, but did he ask her? Because that kind of makes her look like a supervillain. So yeah, maybe she's capping for clout or cash, but at this point, I can't call it. And she claims that Shannon threatened to ruin her if she talked, which is why she stayed quiet all these years.
I remember he got dressed and he knew what he did. And so, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And then I wasn't going to do anything about it. Sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it. And there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, threats, he just was so worried that it would get out and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept calling me at work and when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away. And he said he was going to destroy me and he was going to kill me. And he told me he was watching me and all that. I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after, he doxed me and my address got out. And I had somebody stop by my apartment, which had a door that led right to the side. It was basically on the sidewalk. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up," screamed it at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there. And I was like, oh, no. And so I went and I dropped it because also at my house, not my apartment, at my house,
Now look, if you're going to accuse somebody of something serious, your face and name got to come with it. You can't just throw dirt on somebody's name and then hide your hands and then watch them publicly fight it out while you stay anonymous. That's a dub. So when she said that Shannon was doxing her, I want to say, nah, Shannon was just putting a name and a face to somebody who was accusing him. And another thing that kind of hit me weird was she said that she actually dropped the case because of threats against her. But then later on, she refiled the case because of the same threats. Her actual words were, this time, it gave her the courage to go public. But why? Because she was editing a clip at her job with CBS when she heard Shannon Sharpe mention the whole situation. The way Shannon talked about it made her so mad that she ran out of there and filed a new lawsuit immediately.
Somebody came to my house and sat out front in the driveway while my daughter was there alone. Someone came to my house, someone came to my apartment. And after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV at CNN, and it was my job to put the videos from up to YouTube for CNN. That was part of my job. So I'm putting up this video, and here I see Shannon at my job talking about domestic violence, and the co-host mentioned that, oh, you had one that was just totally dropped, made it look like the police dropped it, not that I had gone down and withdrawn it. It created a picture that wasn't accurate. And that was a very hostile work environment.
I'm going to ask something that might be a little like sensitive or might sound insensitive, I should say. But I'm going to go ahead and ask it because it's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers. So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows. You know, Atlanta has a problem with corruption down there. And I was too scared to go to the police. Because when this happens, you're in a trauma mindset.
This is the part of the situation that's really hard for Shannon Sharpe, because at this point in time, he can't clap back. He already used his first response card when he aired out the first chick, Gabriella, and you saw how much heat he caught for that. Now if he comes out and says anything against this woman, now it's gonna be, he's guilty, he's doxing, he's bullying. You know how it goes. Meanwhile, women are coming out the woodwork, doing interviews and dropping wild claims about him. It's crazy, because he gotta sit back and just eat that. And we all know, these are not the last two women coming out. Social media makes it easy to pile on. Lawyers are out here hunting for any woman he might have dealt with in the past, knowing a settlement is most likely. Before you know it, you're not Shannon Sharpe anymore. You're Deshaun Watson. Your last name, your legacy, that's over and done with. But if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen to see why Go Yayo might have just self-snitched on himself on a no jumper interview. And also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but...
Fuck that, I look 10. I'm maxed out.